Yo, tapping in real quick. Something like nothing major, man. Let's talk about these tri-state fighters real quick on that UFC 309 card, man. You know what I'm talking about? John Jones. You know, it is what it is, man. Stipe is who he is. He's done what he's done. But John Jones is still John Jones. And in my personal opinion, he gets this one done. And he gets this one done, via submission. And for everybody who thinks he can't come out there and, get Stipe down relatively easy and relatively quickly, I'm not going to be surprised, man. You know what I'm talking about? I respect Stipe, but it is what it is, man. I'm on the side of, Bones to get it done and to get it done via submission relatively quickly. Hamzat style, you know what I'm talking about? Tap gloves and get right after it. Aggressively search for that submission. Find it, sink it in, lock it up, and get him out of there inside the distance with quickness. And then take that microphone and ask for Alex Pereira. As much as everybody wants time, he's going to ask for Alex. And he's going to get Alex. And in my personal opinion, he's going to do the same exact thing to Alex that he's going to do to Stipe. He's going to get in there and he's going to get it done. And he's going to get it done relatively quickly via submission without taking much, action at all coming at him. You know what I'm talking about? Then he'll give everybody what they want. Then he'll take the mic and tell time, it's your turn. And then he'll take his gloves off after he takes time out. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm still under the belief that he'll take time out too. And the reason I believe he's going to get Stipe out of there, then ask for Alex, get Alex out of there, and then ask for time before he hangs it up and lays the gloves down. People got to remember, when it comes to John Jones, for everything that John Jones has done, the GOAT status, the records, you know what I'm talking about, the win streak, the title defenses, for everything that he has done, you know what I'm talking about, his time away is really when all of these other individuals who have not done anywhere near the things he's done started getting these big checks, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like the John Joneses, the GOATs, the John Joneses, unfortunately, the Anderson Silvas, the George St. Pierres, you know what I'm talking about? Jose Aldos, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnsons. These cats wasn't getting the $1 million payouts, the couple $1 million payouts, every fucking fight, every showing like some of these newer individuals, you know what I'm talking about, have been doing, you know what I mean? And it's very unfortunate. But with that being said, he knows how big of a fight this Stipe fight is. He know how big of a payout that's going to be. He then also knows how big of a fight the Alex fight will be and how big that payout will be. And boy, if he gets him out of there, like I think he'll get him out of there without taking any damage via submission and calls for time, like I think he will, boy, that'll just generate so much more money for him. You know what I'm talking about? And he wants those checks. He feels as though he's earned those checks. He has earned those checks. He deserves those checks. He does deserve those checks. But he hasn't, with the exception of the last fight when he came back, that was probably one of his biggest payouts, man, coming in here and getting that submission and getting it done. The salary that he was paid just for showing what he made all together, that may very well have been one of his biggest payouts. He wasn't getting these payouts that some of these other individuals have been getting since he's been gone. And that's why I'm under the belief, you know what I'm talking about, that he's going to take these fights. He's going to give everybody what he wants, but he's going to give it to them in his order and the way he want to do it. And regardless of how anybody feels about it, if he goes out there and takes it straight to the ground, aggressively searches for the submission on these individuals and gets them out of there inside the distance with quickness, you can't be mad at him because he already proved to be the force that he is on the feet. He already did all the knocking out, choke. You know what I mean? He already did all that to all the contenders and the champions before him. He passed all those tests. He proved to be who he is. So now he just wants to go out there, secure these victories, secure these bags, and not take no damage. And you can't be mad at that. You know what I'm talking about? So that's that with John Jones. You know what I'm talking about? And then we have Chris Weidman, and he's a dog tag next to his name, but he's one of my most confident picks on the card. Unanimous decision, 2 rounds to 1. You know what I'm talking about? I don't think the finish is going to present itself from either side for either guy. And, this is Chris Weidman. This is Madison Square Garden. He's a hometown hero, you know what I mean? For what it's worth around there anyway. And, this joint goes to the cards. It's highly competitive. It's closely contested. He's getting a nod, man. You know what I'm talking about? And I think that's exactly how it's going to be. Competitive, closely contested, with Chris just edging him out slightly and getting the nod via possibly split decision. But, that's the other TriState boy. You feel what I'm saying? So then we got Jim Miller. He has a dog tag next to his name, ever so slightly, a little lighter than Chris's. And I guess I get it based off of his last performance. But Damon is not Bobby. Damon is not coming out there like Bobby came out there. Bobby came out there with something to prove. Bobby came out there with a chip on his shoulder. Bobby came out there, wanting to make a statement, and he made it. Damon is not capable of doing the same thing that Bobby did. He is not Bobby King Green. He is not King. Old boy changed his name, right? Damon Jackson is not that. Damon Jackson possesses a bit of pop in his shots. You understand what I'm saying to you? He does possess the ability to hurt you, crack you with a counter if you're, caught slipping. But I think this is going to be highly competitive. I think it's going to be closely contested, and I think it's going to go the full 15 minutes. It's going to go the whole distance. And, Jim Miller, not only is he a hometown hero around there, you already know. We don't have to run down his records and his credentials and what he's been doing since he's been around for as long as he's been around. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, listen, man. You got to, in my personal opinion, swap out option applied, but you have to give Jimmy a shot, man. Damon is not Bobby. Styles make matchups. Damon is not capable of putting on a performance on the feet with the striking as fast and, just anything, anywhere like what Bobby King Green is capable of doing when he shows up and shows all the way the fuck out and shows off. And that's what he did that night. And he got the best of Jim that night. But Damon is not Bobby. You know what I'm talking about? They're both nasty with the submissions. Damon might be a bit faster, you know what I'm talking about, at this stage, 41 and 36. Probably has a bit more pop in his shots. Jim, still the more durable one, though. You know what I'm talking about? Jimmy can take it and Jimmy can give it. And Damon ain't Bobby. We gonna have to see. But that's that TriState boy. You know what I'm talking about? Mickey against Ramiz, Ramiz was my pick. More so a fade on Mick, you know what I'm talking about? I need to stop that shit, though. When it comes to these fights, I don't really want nothing to do with, and they complete passes for me, unless we talking about haymakers or Hail Marys, you know what I'm talking about? You know the spiel, you feel me? But for the sake of the pick, at this level of opposition, outside with the dog, I need to stop that shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because, if this goes to the cards, if it goes the full distance, which more times than not, it will, you know what I'm talking about? It'll be highly competitive. It'll be closely contested. And Mickey, being somewhat of a hometown hero around there, the Jersey boy and all that, he'll get the nod, man. he will get the nod more times than not via decision. But it is what it is. I'm not pick switching no more. Just properly prepared, parlay wise, with parlay placement for being on the other side of some of these picks if I decide to parlay them shits up. You know what I'm talking about? So it is what it is. That's that Tri-State kid. Now we have, Bezel. Bezel. We have Bezel. Bezel's a Philly boy, though. You know what I'm talking about? And Bezel don't have a name like John Jones or Chris Weidman. You know what I'm talking about? Or Jim Miller. You feel what I'm saying to you? He don't have that name, man. Or even a Mickey Gall. He don't have that kind of name in the UFC. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, and he's not a New Jersey or a New York boy. He's not directly in his backyard or in his hometown. He from down the way. You know what I'm talking about? In PA. He a Philly boy. And like I said, again, he just doesn't have that name. John Jones, Chris Weidman, Jim Miller, Mickey Gall, where if it goes to the cards and it's highly competitive, closely contested, you can really bank on him getting a nod more times than not. Nah, that's not the situation in this case, in my personal opinion. It's not the same as John. It's not the same as Chris. It's not the same as Jimmy. And it's not the same as Mick. You know what I'm talking about? With all due respect. You feel me? So, with this one, if it's a finish inside the distance, I see Oban getting that. You know what I'm talking about? But as far as the decision, Oban's getting that too, in my personal opinion. So that's how I feel about this, these tri-state individuals that are involved in this Madison Square Garden 309 court. You know what I'm talking about? Peace and blessings.